So we are at Stone Ridge. We are looking at the future of mirrors. Unfortunately, I appear in them if I stand in the wrong spot, but that's what we're doing is we're looking at ways to save efficiency, save fuel, improve visibility, improve safety, improve all that stuff. And we're going to talk to the experts, the people who actually use this stuff and make it. I'm Brian. Welcome to Future Ozza. So we've got Mario here. Mario is a veteran trucker, 3 million safe miles, 10 years as an electrical engineer. You've been at Stone Ridge here for quite some time. We're looking at this system. And let's talk about the benefits, because I'm going to try and keep it quick. I'm going to try and keep it lively before I show you the actual product in action itself. Big benefits. We got these wings up here. Why is it better?
Correct. So the wings get mounted above the doors. Therefore, we're keeping them away from the elements. With the mirror and with the regular truck on the window and on the mirror, you get water, you get ice, you get grime from the road. So mounting them up high protects them from the road spray. Road spray doesn't make it all the way up there. Also, being able to maintain full visibility at the side of the vehicle. With the mirror, usually mounted on the door or on the A-pillar, when you open the door, you either look out into the middle of the parking lot or you are blocking the view of that mirror with your actual door. So because of those reasons, our system creates a better, more visibility around the side of the vehicle. So driver has full visibility as well as our system records. So the camera system is recording in order to be able to provide that exoneration or understanding of what happened. And also some of the customers are using the video for training and coaching other drivers of what to do, what not to do, especially like flatbed companies. They've had accidents where drivers are throwing straps and chains and damaging vehicles that are parked next to them. So being able to not just simply provide the driver's view, but also provide exoneration in case of incidents, accidents, and those videos could also be used for training purposes and coaching drivers.
So not only are we going to gain 3% efficiency by not having giant drag paddles out grabbing the air aggressively, which could be, we're talking maybe 2 cents a mile savings, which is astronomical. But now you've got 360 dash cams on the semi for liability and safety. And the thing is, you've got this little handy controller here that can do all kinds of things. You can switch to night mode. You can adjust the angles of them.
Well, you can fold the wings, actually. That's what that is.
But you've got adjustments for all kinds of stuff. If it's too bright, oops, that's the wrong one. If it's too bright, you can turn it down at night, all that. But you've got savings for liability. And unlike the filthy, disgusting cameras on, for example, my car, when there's any amount of road grime, it immediately gets disgusting. How high off the ground is this going to be?
So this is above the door, depending on the make and model. You're looking at about probably 2.5 meters, roughly about 8 feet.
Yeah, so that's going to...
8 to 9 feet, depending on...
Those are going to stay clean. And then there's a second thing you did to make them stay clean.
Correct. So the cameras come with the hydrophobic coating to help repel water and dirt. The camera themselves actually do have a heating element in them. That's a big question I get all the time. What happens in the snow up here, especially in Michigan and in the northern states? So it does have its own heating element where the system automatically turns the heating element on, unlike a mirror where the driver has to manually activate the heating. Also, because of the way the wings are designed aerodynamically, they're designed that as soon as the vehicle is moving, it helps the water management to be able to manage the water away from the camera lenses. That helps keep the cameras and the view clear.
So it's kind of hard to see, but the idea is that it'll create a vortex here that channels the air in such a way that it just pulls the water off the housing.
Correct. It helps pull the water away from the lens and from the housing that the cameras are facing.
And these are already... Go ahead.
Correct. So this is our aftermarket system. So this has already been in production. We've been installing this on many vehicles. We got over 10,000 vehicles in North America alone. Worldwide, with all of our camera systems, we got probably over 150,000 vehicles running right now between Europe and US. In the US, we got, like I said, over 10,000 just in the aftermarket. Right now, this year, by the end of this year, we're going to have all the original equipment manufacturers of Class 8 trucks be able to provide a system directly from the factory. So with those, the numbers of the trucks is gonna multiply really quick. We're kind of losing track right now because it's so hard to maintain how many the OEM is actually installing directly from the factory.
So Stone Ridge is not just an aftermarket supplier. Primarily, they're a tier one,
Correct.
which means they provide parts and supplies directly to the manufacturer that they would then use.
Correct. So we are a tier one supplier. We make parts and components for automotive and commercial vehicles, all the way from the smallest little temperature sensor, the seat actuators, your seat position sensors in your vehicle. You got the memory seats, that's us. We make shift-by-wire controllers and shift-by-wire components, all the way to in the lobby there. We'll go in and see. We do make some other more high-tech, as well as some of the body controllers, chassis controllers, ABS telematics controllers, and so on, all the way to the vision systems.
So I'm going to ask you viewers to pause and tell me, before I tell you, what safety elements you're going to get from this, because we're going to list them off right now. One is, of course, not having the pedestrian striking. That seems important to me. Has that been an issue for drivers, especially in Europe?
Correct. So in Europe, they got smaller roads, so they do have a big issue with the mirrors striking pedestrians or signs, or because they do have narrower roads. So that is one big benefit of going to a camera system. It is closer to the truck and it's also higher, so therefore it's not going to be hitting any obstacles or anything in its way.
Then you've got the aspect of it is no longer occupying space, creating a blind spot and your A-pillar.
Correct. So in the US, we actually do have an exemption from FMCSA. That's the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Once the semi-truck is purchased and it is put in service by the trucking company, they no longer go by NHTSA. NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, regulates manufacturers. And from the manufacturing status, you must put a glass mirror onto the truck. Once the truck is purchased and runs on the roads, then FMCSA regulates the trucking companies, and we have an exemption making any truck equipped with our technology legal to go down the road. And yes, by being able to eliminate and legally remove the mirrors, the mirror themselves create two things. One is a blind spot to the driver. The driver's constantly peekabooing around it. I call that driver aerobics. That's what the driver's doing all day in and out. Every minute is moving forward, backwards, left, right to be able to see more because the mirror is a direct line of sight. The second thing where now the company is getting to take advantage of being able to legally remove the mirror is the fuel savings potential, because the mirror is a big drag point. A side mirror on a truck is about 10 hands put together, and everybody knows how much drag is just putting one hand out. So imagine putting 10 hands out. That's how much drag the regular mirrors are creating. So with the wings up there, they're designed like an airplane wing, so they're designed to cut through the wind a little bit better, and therefore there is a lot of potential for fuel savings from that aspect.
And the last two safety things we already talked about. One is the fact that it is recording all the time if that's how you've got it set up.
As long as the truck is on and the system is turned on, we are recording. We're obviously pulling a little bit more power. We got 5 cameras, 3 monitors. There's a centralized ECU. There's a recording device, the DVR that records and retrieves the videos. So we got a little bit more components onto this system than a regular dash cam. So therefore, our system usually stays turned on about 3 minutes after you turn the key off. And then after that, the system is no longer recording. So you do have to have the key on because we draw more power.
Sure.
If you have a different source of being able to charge your batteries, like an APU, solar panels, then it can definitely be wired to be on 24/7.
If you wanted it to.
Correct.
And then, of course, the last one is that it is, you can see all the way around. Let's, yeah.
Correct. So we can see all the way around?
See out the back of my head. I don't know about you.
What's that?
Can you see out the back of your head?
No, but so really quick, so this system is simply just for the side views.
right?
We do have a separate system that we're gonna have ready to go to market. That's actually on the back of the trailer. So
see.
right now we got cameras on the left, cameras on the right, and then this monitors for this camera looking down, eliminating all the blind spots on the right side of the vehicle.
Sure, down underneath
On the
you.
right side.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct. So currently trucks usually put a little mirror on the door, on the passenger side door, looking at the steps, because that's the area the driver cannot see. But you can only see a couple feet next to the steps, and that's it. So with our view there, you can actually see about 10 feet in front of the truck. You can see all the way to almost the drive tires, and then 2 lanes of traffic over.
Wow.
So we eliminate all the blind spots on the right side. That's what this system is for. And as you mentioned, yes, we do have another system that is going to be mounted with the camera on the back of the trailer. And then we don't have it on display here, but we will show you guys that in the truck.
Okay, let's head inside and check it out.
All right, so this is just our showroom, kind of showing a little bit of, our current products and future products. Currently, our camera system, our camera vision systems are running 2.6 megapixels. We're looking at some 3 megapixels and 8 megapixels. I know somewhere in there we also had a 5 megapixel. But this is actually what the aftermarket ECU looks like. So that system we saw in the lobby, that's what it's running. This is just one of the chassis control modules that I talked about. This is the actual monitor that we use for our camera visions. This is the wing that's actually mounted up there as well. And then this is a version of a camera that it's called Radar Eye. What this is actually, this is using a camera and a radar to be able to provide the operator. This is what we're using in some of the off-highway vehicles and some of the material handling equipment in the warehouses to provide the driver not only visibility, but understanding on how far or close the objects and other vehicles, other pedestrians and everything is. We do make door control modules. This here is the version of our mirrorized system, of our camera monitoring systems that is built. This one is particularly built for Kenworth. Peterbilt is similar to this because we are keeping the camera on the bottom of the mirrors. So you got your side view camera, and then right down here, there's a camera for looking down to eliminate that blind spot on the right side of the vehicle. So you can adjust your views. So this is the classic view on the right side. We can have the full panoramic view. And then you can have your panoramic view, and then this is the look down. It's kind of deceiving because we do have it on a stand here. But this would provide you the side view, and then this would provide you that look down view to eliminate the blind spots next to the right steer tire on the front. So, but this is the system. It no longer has that controller because everything's integrated within the door control module, which we actually make. And then we put buttons on the monitor to be able to add more menu and more interaction that the driver can now interact with the system and be able to. So we do make a lot of other parts. This is park lock actuators. So we make a lot of actuators, shift-by-wire components. We make a lot of connectivity boxes. Our division down in Brazil makes a lot of the track and trace and components because they deal with a lot of cargo theft. European market, we do have the tachograph, which is the equivalent of ELDs in the US. Everybody needs to have it. And then moving on, we do have, some of the keypad on the side of the vehicles. We make the seat track position sensors and then all kinds of actuators. And up there you can see all kinds of sensors, temperature sensors and all kinds of stuff. So we make a lot of parts that go into vehicles. Our name is not necessarily on the part because as a tier 1, you must stamp, the customer's name on it. Right. So that's why a lot of people, when we show up, they don't really know who Stone Ridge is. Right. So it's great and it's good to kind of have that knowledge because this is not a company that this is not a system that somebody came up with in a garage and now try and make a quick buck. Right. This is a company that's been doing components as a tier 1 for the last 60 years.
This is just the next step.
Correct. This is where things are going from what the customers are asking us to be able to provide them with more visibility and understanding and of the surroundings, not only for the driver, but as we move on as to what, where the vehicles are going, as being all software defined and being with all the rest of the ADAS systems that are already in the truck, with the radars, collision mitigation, adaptive cruise control, lane correction, and all that other stuff. That's what we've been asked for. So we do have some other future stuff that, we're trying to make available to the market.
And what we talked about before we went on camera was anything you can do to reduce the driver's stress is going to make improve safety, just make a better experience, make a happier driver.
Correct. So the whole idea is to improve safety. First, you must improve the driver's lifestyle. Okay, drivers usually live in that truck. Over-the-road drivers, they live in that truck for probably a month, 2 months at a time, depending on the company. And even local drivers, you're in the vehicle for 10 hours a day. You got all these blind spots, and with the mirror, you got a direct line of sight. There are some other features that we'll show you guys of the system to be able to improve the driver, being able to maneuver, and it reduces all the stress, fatigue, and anxiety on the driver. No longer the driver needs to move in and out of the seat, left and right, that driver aerobics that I talked about, because that's what the driver's doing currently. To be able to see more in a mirror, the mirror is a direct line of sight, where the monitor provides anybody and everybody in that vehicle the same view. So training, some of the fleets are using our system for training purposes, because now the trainer in the passenger seat gets to see exactly what the driver sees.
That's a great point.
Yep, and therefore he can now provide better coaching to the driver as to how to position an intersection, how to take a turn, how to navigate, because now he gets to see, where before the driver's in control, all the mirrors are direct line of sight. Right. So anybody sitting in the passenger seat, they don't get to see anything.
You might as well be coaching him over the phone.
Correct, kind of type of deal, yes. So it improves a lot of areas. I mean, if we were to list all the benefits and improvements that we're doing, I mean, depending on how much time you got and how much battery you got on your unit. But so there's overall, if you get the bottom line is that's what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. We're trying to reduce and eliminate stress, fatigue, and anxiety on the driver. That's what's going to get us more focused drivers on what's happening in front of them, first of all, and then around them, with better visibility, and also being able to record that. Now everybody gets to see, what happened in an incident. It's no longer, well, he said, she said. It's no longer a guessing game. Now you can actually, see everything around the side of the vehicle, so there's no confusion as to, who's at fault.
So if you've ever had a chance to do a long drive with either, traffic-aware cruise control, really self-driving, but a lot of you folks don't have it or won't use it, anything you can do to reduce driver fatigue makes the drive so much easier. Let's keep going.
All right, so as we look at our truck, this is our show truck, so we'll have a lot more stuff available. But as you look up there at the wings, ours look just a little bit different because we do have some extra lights on them, and we do have just a single camera versus 2 cameras. And then on this particular system, we actually do have a camera looking down at the left side. That's part of the future that we've been asked to do. But the basic system does not come with the camera looking down on the left side. But as all the customers have mirror eye and they have, the look down on the passenger side, eliminating that blind spot, everybody keeps asking, well, how about the driver's side? So then we did put one on the driver's side. That's going to be for the future, maybe 1 to 3 years out. And there's a lot of other stuff that we're actually going to be talking about that's going to be a couple years down the road. But we talked about the mirror eye system for the side views, and then you kind of brought up, behind the vehicle. So we do have a system that is actually a wired system. So all we heard from the customers was, we don't want to have a camera on the back of the trailer that is Bluetooth. We don't want a camera that's Wi-Fi, because the latency is the biggest thing. Connection is the second thing. If the driver's in the middle of backing up and all of a sudden he's got to resync the camera, or he's a second late, you just hit somebody. So everybody said it must be a wired system. Great. Customer said, we do not want an extra cable, because an extra cable, where do we buy it from? Driver's going to forget to hook it and unhook it, and then where do we buy that cable from? And the last thing they said, well, by the way, this green cable here is a 7-pin cable. That's what everybody refers to it as, a 7-pin cable. And don't modify that, because if you do, where do I buy that specialty cable now in the middle of Montana or in the middle of, nowhere? So what we've actually achieved, we do actually have a wired system. We are superimposing all the data over the existing power lines. So in the nose box here and in the black box on the back of the trailer where the green cord plugs into, we have what we call gateways, and that's what codes and decodes all the data. And it is a 2-way communication system. Not only do we get the data and the video feed from the trailer, but we're also sending signals to the trailer. On the market right now, semi-trucks don't have any reverse lights. If they do, they either added cables, or there is a system that requires a couple of revolutions of tires backwards to be able to turn on the lights, because it reads the ABS sensor. But it requires movement, and in that first movement, you could hit somebody. Ours is actually with the gear. As soon as I put the truck in reverse, we turn on white lights on the back of the trailer. Before I even move and I release my brake, those white lights are going to be on, indicating that I'm reversing. So the first visual safety to anybody standing back there. And then the second thing is, we do provide illumination for the low lighting scenarios when driver's going to be driving at nighttime. Our mirrorized system has night vision. We flood the area with infrared lights. We could have used infrared light on that camera. It is capable, but we chose not to, because then nobody gets to see it. Okay, so if we go to the back of the trailer really quick, we'll show you guys where the camera is, mounted in the middle, underneath the deck, being protected away from the elements.
So just to make that clear, they wanted a backup camera, but not Bluetooth and not Wi-Fi. It has to be wired. Oh, and no new wires and no new connectors. And they found a way to make it happen.
Correct.
Which is crazy, and I love it.
It is. So right now, this is where the camera is mounted. It's below the deck. It's being protected away from the elements. And then we put our lights right here.
So
semis don't have
Nope.
backup lights.
Nope.
How did I never know that? Did you know that?
Hopefully you don't stand behind the trucks regularly.
So what?
You'd be surprised.
So what the truckers are doing, what the drivers are doing, they're using their four ways to indicate that, hey, watch out.
I have seen
Just
that.
watch out, because there's no reverse lights to let anybody know what the vehicle is doing.
Interesting.
So we do have this version where you can put those lights in, but we do have another bracket that actually puts the camera a little bit lower. And we have an oval white light that actually is being used as a reverse light.
Wow. All right.
Also, we can come to the side for a second. A lot of customers are asking, why did you mount it low? So
Why did you what?
Why did we mount it so low?
Yes.
Most customers want it up high, right?
Sure.
They're thinking, hey, if it's high, then I can look down and I can see the side of my trailer, the back of my trailer. What happens is, if you put it up high, you limit how far back you can see. Because if you want to see the back, the rear bumper, you're looking down.
Yeah. Now you can only see 10
So you can only
feet,
see
12 feet.
35 feet behind.
Yeah, okay.
We measured it. We tested it. 35, 40 feet at the best. Okay. This trailer is 53 feet. So you're
Right.
not even see the whole length of the trailer.
Right.
Okay. The other thing is cleanliness. It will eventually need to be clean. If you put it at 13 and a half feet up high, nobody's ever going to clean it. Mounting it low as the driver's doing his pre-trip, his post-trip, as he's coming back here to open the doors to be able to back to a dock, he's going to be walking right by the camera. You can simply wipe it, just like you do your backup camera in your car, and now you got clear visibility out of it.
Yeah.
Right? So multiple reasons went into, the position, where we mounted it, how we mounted it, and, us to, trying to help the driver instead of creating more systems that are actually, going to be, causing more disruption to the driver and more work.
Sure. All right.
But that's one of the reasons why we put it low. So that would be the next system that we are working to release to market by the end of this year.
Great.
So customers will be able to buy a camera on the back of the trailer through that technology. And then in the cab, we'll have another little monitor for them to be able to see the view of the camera. Now, the other thing is, not mounting it up high is because customers want to be able to record that view. In case they get rear-ended, they want to be able to see indefinitely, because they want to be able to see that vehicle approaching from the back and how that vehicle is swerving in and out of traffic and then ends up rear-ending a vehicle, right? If you mount the camera up high, you're limited to that 40 feet, 35, 40 feet, so you don't get to capture anything else that's happening outside of that area.
No context.
Correct. So that's another reason why we put it low, because you can see indefinitely, and then, you can add that to your investigation for the accident, and, now you can actually prove exactly who's at fault, who's not, and what happened prior to the actual impact.
All right. Okay.
So we do have a bench in the back. So,
Oh.
So Brian, I'll let you sit in the driver's seat just for a minute so you get to see what the driver sees, kind of.
Yeah.
So you kind of put things in perspective as you're looking at the monitors. You got your left side. You got your left side monitor mounted on the A-pillar. A-pillar is already a big blind spot. We're not creating any other blind spots for the driver. The passenger,
wide open view right here.
Correct.
Yeah, that's really as little obstruction as you're going to get.
the passenger side monitor, same thing. It's mounted to the A-pillar. It does not add any more blind spots. The A-pillar is already a big blind spot to the driver. So driver doesn't have to peekaboo around it, doesn't have to do absolutely anything. And then the unit we saw inside the lobby had a small monitor. That's this monitor right here.
Okay.
We put a big monitor because we are working on some future features and add-ons and stuff. So we need a bigger monitor to be able to display stuff. So that's why we have a big monitor. This is a prototype, and so is this. This is another piece of technology that we're looking to sell to the manufacturers. But this view is the look down on the on the passenger side, and you can see in front of the truck right here. That's the lug nuts, the steps, all the way at the end of the cab, and then we pick it up again over here about a foot behind the door, and then we pick it up from the tires, and we can see indefinitely around the side of the vehicle.
Okay, so this isn't, a truck that's doing deliveries today. This is the demonstrator. This is the prototype. This is the test vehicle.
Correct. So this is our test vehicle, but we do have over 10,000 vehicles in the U.S. equipped with this technology that are driving down the road delivering freight every single day.
Right.
And with our ability to have it installed directly from the factory, the number of vehicles with camera vision systems, camera monitoring systems, mirrorized systems directly, to the market and on the roadways is being impacted, and it's being exponentially, getting bigger. More vehicles on the road because you can order it directly from the factory with the system on it.
And this is available worldwide, more or less.
Correct. So this is available worldwide. In Europe, actually, since 3 years ago, they actually built the vehicles with no mirrors. They do not even put you holes to be able to mount a mirror. And actually, I heard a couple months ago that a couple of the OEMs, the camera monitor system is actually standard. If you want your glass mirrors, you got to pay extra.
That's
in Europe.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's on the European market and stuff, and it's coming here because of all the OEMs that are providing that option to install it directly from the factory.
All right.
Okay, so right here is the view from that camera behind us.
Right.
Okay, with the system that we're going to go to market, it's going to have an independent monitor. We're going to have this monitor. This is, again, a prototype, so we're trying to see how we can integrate and reduce the number of monitors in the truck. But also, when I drive, I do a lot of other testing for the future, for the next generations, and to be able to provide even more visibility around the truck and the trailer. And that's why I need a bigger monitor to be able to display more camera views and everything else. But this camera view is on the back of the trailer. It would be displayed onto this monitor, and this monitor would be mounted probably right next to the dash right here. As customers are going to have a tablet and whatever they're going to have in the vehicle for the driver.
Right. Okay.
So one last thing really quick that I would like to show you is, just sit right there for a second. It's going to be on this view up here. So if you put your foot on the brake really quick, when we put the truck in reverse, we do bring in some overlays to be able to provide the driver understanding of the size of the vehicle, as well as 5 and 10 feet behind the vehicle. So we do provide some of those situational awareness lines to be able to, you can let go of it, to be able to show the driver and understand where the vehicle is going to be occupied.
And we've seen that in cars, but that's new to trucking.
Correct. That is very new to trucking because as of right now, most of the customers that are trying to provide a view on the back of the trailer, it's either Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And I mentioned latency is a big thing, but also imagine you're loading this trailer with engine blocks or transmissions, that signal doesn't go anywhere. Right. You cannot get a signal 60 feet through metal.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you're hauling back there as well. But also because of the distance and because of the unreliable connection of constantly having to resync, the units, that causes a lot of disruption to the driver.
Bluetooth is always perfect.
Yes. But that's what we're going to do. So a couple more things that you're going to notice and you're going to experience. You notice up here we got the red, yellow, and green lines. Probably on that side you can see them on the road. Once we get going, you'll be able to notice Those are called situational awareness lines. So that puts things in perspective as to how far or close vehicles are on either side of the vehicle as we get on the highway.
So if I want to know if someone can get out around this island, I know that my red line is my tail.
Correct. So the
And
red
so
line
they
is the end of your trailer.
They can fit out around there.
Correct. They can.
Perfect.
But as you're driving down the road, the red line is going to be displaying where the end of your trailer is in the lane next to you. The yellow line is going to be on our aftermarket system is about 75 feet.
Okay.
On the OEM systems, it's 40 feet. And then the green line for our aftermarket is about 150 feet. And then for the OEMs, it's 80 feet.
Okay.
So 75, 80 feet is the total length of the truck and trailer put together. Initially, we had them at 40 and 80. That's why the OEMs carried over the 40 feet and 80 feet behind the trailer, 80 feet being one truck length.
Mhm.
As we are developing and we get feedback from the customers, the safety directors, the drivers, they wanted to expand that space a little bit, and they wanted a little bit more space to provide the driver. So that's why we increased it we doubled it versus the original measurements that we had.
Sure.
The OEMs are still maintaining that 40 and 80 feet. That's just what they wanted. So eventually, if the market dictates and the customers are going to tell them otherwise, they will, increase that spacing as well. But right now, our system, we did because we move a lot faster and quicker than what the manufacturers are actually able to do. So that is one of the features you're going to notice that once we get going.
All right.
The second thing, just like we had a controller in the lobby, I have a controller here. Mine is now mounted because of this piece of this screen that I'll be turning back on here because we do have the ability to do a lot more with that screen. That is our secondary information display that we are pitching to all the OEMs. So that's not available right now. But with this controller, the driver can interact. You touched a little bit on it. You got your night vision. You got your the wings up there on our aftermarket is mounted with the powerful motor. All the wings for all the systems have a sort of a breakaway Right. It doesn't break off the truck, but it breaks away. Some of them are spring loaded where you have to push it back in place in case you hit anything, they're not going to get ripped off the truck. And then you touched on the brightness of the monitors. On the left side, if I push the bottom left here, I'm activating what we call manual panning for the driver's side. And I can adjust the top image to see as wide as the wide angle is at the bottom. With the regular mirror, you got motorized mirrors, you start moving that mirror, you got to be outside the truck, or if you're doing it on the passenger side, you got to be in the passenger seat to be able to get that direct line of sight.
Right.
Where with our camera, because the camera has a wide angle view and it sees, where, all the way far away from the vehicle, we're taking advantage of that view from the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then unlike a mirror, I don't have to bring it back to default. I just disable that function and then it'll go back to default automatic. So I don't have to find my sweet spot every single time. Everything goes back to default, which has already been calibrated at the time of installation.
Right.
So that's our manual panning. Our system is hooked up to the communication bus of the vehicle. So we take inputs. Our system doesn't tell the truck to do anything currently. We do not tell the truck to speed up, slow down, or anything. We don't have any, our standard system does not have any audible alerts or visual alerts to the driver. Okay, so the driver does not get distracted. We don't add any alerts to the driver for that. But by taking all those inputs from the truck, what you just experienced with the manual panning, the truck will automatically do on its own.
Oh, wow.
When you're going forward. When you are reversing, we need driver input because we don't have enough technology to tell us where the trailer is going to be going. Because going forward, the tractor dictates, the steering tires dictate where the trailer is going to be tracking. When you're backing up, the trailer now becomes the steer tires. So there's not enough technology between the two right now to be able to do that reverse auto pinning. Obviously, we are working on some future ability to be able to do that as well.
We'll get
It's just
there.
not available currently today on the market.
Yep.
But that's what you're going to experience when we go driving. One thing I do have to mention, you will get to see two things that we're working on, object detection with the camera vision. So you will see a red box or a yellow box pop up on the left and right monitors once in a while, depending on what that is. So that is something that we are working to be able to detect with the red box we're going to display. That's detecting VRU, vulnerable road users.
Mm-hmm.
That is mandated in Europe. We're working to bring it to our camera vision system in US because that can also add to the rest of the ADAS systems from the truck already. And then the yellow box is going to pick up the non-VRU. So VRU stands for pedestrians, bicyclists, wheelchairs, and then the VRU is for your motor vehicles and above.
All right.
Okay, so that's something you're going to see, but it's not available for the market, but you will get to see it on the left and right side monitors as we drive. We're going to pick it up and we're going to be able to display that. That's one of those technologies that we're working, and I capture a lot of data collection to be, we travel through the US, to be able to improve the capability of doing that.
All right.
Well, the video kept getting longer and longer, and so of course we have to break it in two. This is mostly the intro to it. The second part is mostly the drive of it. It is pretty interesting. There's a lot of neat features. The cameras on the side automatically panning so that you're not just looking at the side of the trailer. It extends out to see past it. When you're getting on the on-ramp, you can see out farther. It's a really great system. It seems to work really well. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you fuel, all that. Guys, subscribe if you like this content. I'm not just an opinion spouter. I get out and do the actual on-the-ground reporting. I meet with the experts. I see the things. I ask the questions. If that's something you value, please subscribe. You can help the channel financially. All the links are in the description. Consider it. Don't have to. You can just hang out. I don't know. What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it. Leave it, I beg of you. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in the thrilling conclusion, which will come out not tomorrow, which is Wednesday, but Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific. See you then.